with Dave Rowe. Weather with Global's Jordan Witzel. All you need for the start of your day. The morning news brought to you by House of Cars with 6 Calgary locations.
9:09 on the morning news. Did you know that today is World Food Day? Find out more about it and what is being done and what is needed here in the city of Calgary. We're joined in studio by Shawna Ogsten, Communications Director with the Calgary Food Bank. Good morning, Shawna.
Good morning.
What is World Food Day?
Well, it's recognized every year since the 1945 by the UN to eliminate and get the awareness of food insecurity and poverty around the world.
We see it most in developing countries, don't we? I mean, shockingly, statistically, that's really where we're seeing so many hungry people, and right here in Canada even.
Oh, yes. I mean, when you think of World Food Day and poverty, you think of third world countries. And guess what? It's happening right in our own backyard.
We can look at stats around the world, but it really hits home when we talk about the need in Calgary.
Unfortunately, we just see numbers increasing every day, really. I mean, we get phone calls constantly for hampers. There are tipping points for so many families and individuals, and we're still being hard hit by the recession.
Talk to us about how many hampers, how many calls, first of all, do you get? And then how many hampers does the Calgary Food Bank distribute every day?
Well, the first step is to call the Calgary Food Bank, and we receive about almost 400 calls a day.
Wow.
And with their volunteers, because we have 3-to-1 ratio with staff and volunteers, our volunteers are able to hand out about 250, 300 hampers a day. So we are in the thousands per month.
That's sad. It's sad to hear that here in our own city. And, you know, you look around and sure, there are people having a difficult time. Some have lost their jobs. But we don't realize just how bad it can be, that people just don't have the food to put on their table.
Unfortunately not. They've used up all their resources. The only budget that can be manipulated or changed is your food budget. You can't do that with your rent or your mortgage.
And 'tis the season. Last week, a lot of us going to the grocery store to load up to celebrate Thanksgiving. And we had a busy time preparing for it, and you folks were super busy. Tell us about that a couple of days before Thanksgiving.
The few days before Thanksgiving is the busiest time of the year for the Calgary Food Bank. Always has been, and unfortunately is the start of our busy season right through until the new year. And I know when we think about Christmas and holidays, etc., you think of, busy season. Busy is different for us at the Calgary Food Bank, and there's just so many families that need help.
Well, what can we do? I mean, you see a food drive here and there throughout the year, but is it something that we really all need to be paying attention to, donating, whether it's money or food, to the food bank all year round?
Well, because we are not government funded and we don't receive United Way funding, we rely solely on the community. So every little bit helps. If you're inspired when you're at the grocery store buying a treat for your family, why not get two and put it in the donation bin and help someone else?
And the items, if you've been away from the food bank used to donate regularly or volunteer, the items might surprise you because we are used to saying those non-perishable food items, but this is not your grandfather's food bank.
No, it isn't. I mean, we will take fresh and frozen. Of course, logistically, we still need those being brought to us because we have the fridge and freezer capabilities. But when people were doing their harvest, we were receiving a lot of great fresh produce, and that goes a long way for our clients.
Some interesting stats that we dug up knowing that we were going to talk to you about World Food Day. 59% of Alberta residents believe their grocery bill represents too much of their budget. So not enough budget at the end of the day to pay for the groceries. And then 65% of Alberta residents saying they can't always eat as healthily as they would like. And that's one of those things, right? It's so cheap to go to your fast food joint and get a burger and fries, not so much to go and get some healthy vegetables.
No, and unfortunately, we have seen the increase in food prices year over year over year. And in the last couple of years, fruits and vegetables alone have increased 17%. So how do you do that on a budget?
Well, and you look at these people coming to the food bank, it's the adults. A lot of the times it's mom and dad. And the fact is the importance of nutrition for the young kids. And that's where you guys try to make sure that every hamper has a little bit of something for everyone and the right stuff.
And we also work with over 250 organizations in the city. So organizations like Brown Bagging It for Kids will go into school. We do food. they do the service delivery. So together we can make a difference.
It's amazing. You know, World Hunger Stats, 785 million people around the world don't have enough food to have a healthy lifestyle. And then, as Andy was just mentioning, 45% of deaths of kids under the age of 5. So 3 million children a year are dying. And we're seeing that happening here in the city of Calgary, where kids are not being fed because mom and dad don't have the money to buy the food.
It is tragic. I mean, food shouldn't be a luxury item. And Canada is one of the countries that do not have a cross-country feeding program in schools. So a lot of organizations are getting in the trenches and making up a difference, because we know that when you're feeding the tummies, you're feeding the minds.
Mm-hmm.
What's also interesting is that a lot of the times, just like, and I like to think to recycling, the 3 R's in recycling, it's the kids. With making a fire plan for fire safety work, it's the kids.
Mm-hmm.
The kids might be the ones to lead you at the grocery store for that little hamper that you can buy to donate to the food bank. And that's something that I'm sure you see with even some of your volunteers when the families are coming in.
Oh, yes, because the kids get inspired to make that difference.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's been debate about money or cans, etc. But if Johnny wants to put that can in the donation bin because they know that they're going to help their classmate, there's a budding philanthropist right there.
What are some of the things that we can do, other than just, donating a non-perishable food item or $10 here and there? Are there other things that we can do to help the Calgary Food Bank?
There are so many things you can do, whether you're donating your resources, if you're a company that has something that the Calgary Food Bank could use, or if you want to donate your time, because let's say you're retired and you've got the time, we'd love to have your help. And just check out our website. We've got a myriad of things to do.
Well, and Sue mentioned, besides just these donations and the dollars are a different animal in the food bank world, because you guys can expand
Stretch
that
'em.
dollar.
Yes, for every dollar donated, we can leverage that into $5 worth of food. And when it comes to things like the milk and the cheese, etc., we have to purchase that. Those are guaranteed items. We want to make sure that we've got healthy items like that in our hampers. So we've got to pay for those things. We don't get a discount on the recycling fee on the milk jugs. So your dollar will go a long way.
Well, we don't need to wait for a food drive, say at Christmas time. We can help out at any time of the year, right?
Any time, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately is right, but it's something that we can all do, and just a little bit right here in our community can make a really big difference.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking World Food Day, but you guys always, you try to, not just about the, bringing in these food needs for those in need, but different events. So a chance for you to plug quickly what's coming up next for you guys, because there's a lot of events.
Oh, it's that season. So the Mayor's Food Drive will be launching in November. So watch for donation bins around the city.
And start doing your own at work, or you can collect stuff at home and do it all year round. It should be something that we just think about 365, I think,
Yes.
right? All right, calgaryfoodbank.com to get all the details on how you can help out. And if maybe you want to donate some time, that might be a nice thing as well. Thanks for joining us, Shawna.
Thank you.
Shawna Ogsten is the communications director for the Calgary Food Bank.
Get the family out there.
Yeah, it's a good idea, and we should start one here. Andrew, this is your chore. Now you're new to the station. You're starting
I've
a
got
new
chores.
a food drive for us.
It's for a great cause, so we'll try to get the team together and
That it is.
do that in time for the holidays.
Coming up on 9:17, it's time for Helicopter